Hey guys, it's Mama Goop. Some of you may know me from my main channel, which is simply at Mama Goob. On there, I react to videos of internet personalities, lol cows, who seem to have the same struggles as I do, such as being obese, as a young person and as an older person, and getting weight loss surgery and having kids. In my never too humble opinion, they are doing it wrong, and I'm going to set them straight. All constructive criticism, no hate. So the main reason why I decided to create this vlog is because I was researching the process of getting a revision to bypass surgery from a sleeve. I could barely find any personal stories of anyone who was also doing this. So I figured I'd make these videos and see if they can help a person or two if I share my story. So I hope this does help you in some way. So before we get into my story, let me tell you a bit about my background. I originally had weight loss surgery in September of 2014. I was approximately, I think I was 39, and I weighed about 318 or so. I had two children by then, and I had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis just 2 years prior. So 2012, multiple sclerosis, 2014, the weight was really getting to me and making the disease worse, in my opinion. So it was making it the extra weight and having multiple sclerosis. I was struggling to walk more and more. And I just knew it was because of the weight I was pulling around. So at a neurologist appointment, I asked my doctor if I could get on one of the current weight loss drugs. I don't even remember what they were. There were no GLP-1s then. There was just some new drugs that came out that I wanted to see if I can get on. And he's like, well, why don't you just get a gastric bypass or bariatric surgery? These weight loss drugs that you're asking about are very powerful, and you're already on some very powerful medicine. So why don't you just go the surgical route? So I left there and I'm like, yeah, what a jerk. This was body positivity before body positivity. Why should I have to pull out half of a fully working organ just so I can, live? I was mad. I was offended. But just like a few hours later, I started to really think about it and said, well, wait a minute. Okay. So if I were to do this and get this done and fully get the weight off, it's worth it to see if it helps. And if it doesn't help, I'll shove it in his face. Like, big deal, like he cared. But, so I did it. The wheels started turning. I visited a local bariatric surgeon. I visited a few, but the local bariatric surgeon seemed to have less hoops. And again, it was local instead of driving all over the South Florida. So I met with him. We talked about the difference between bypass and sleeve. I ended up choosing the sleeve because being on all these medicines for MS, I didn't know what I'd have to be on in the future. I didn't want any malnourishment. So what happens is with a bypass, you do not absorb the nutrients and the medicines. So that to me was not a good idea. But it would have probably worked better. That's what they told me. At my weight, I probably should have leaned more toward the gastric bypass. But instead, I chose the sleeve and I figured, okay, best of both worlds. So I jumped through the many insurance hoops that there were at the time, and I got my surgery September 16th, 2014. So I did really well. Within about 18 months, I got to my goal weight of 150. I hovered around there for many years. It's just recently that, especially since these problems, my age is getting more, now I'm 50. The problems kept compounding and compounding and compounding, and the weight was creeping up and up and up till my weight got as high as 180, which is bad, but still not the end of the world. It's not like I got to 300 pounds again. Still, 5'6", maybe obese, barely, But I think 179 after like 180 starts obese and 179 is overweight, the BMI charts. So, okay. So I wouldn't mind losing some weight. But the problem is I had increasing, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse, GERD, which is gastroesophagus reflux disease. I hope I'm saying that right. Um, I had it my entire 10 years, bad. I actually had it before surgery, but come to find out I had a hiatal hernia. So that was probably the reason for it. So the hiatal hernia was fixed during the surgery. So, but this reflux would be at a point where, so no matter what I ate, no matter what I drank, I mean, simple water would cause reflux. And every night I had to sleep sitting up. I spent $2,000 on a new bed that's adjustable just so I don't have to sleep laying flat. That's how bad it was. And, I went through medication. I went through several, like, we started with omeprazole. We moved to Prilosec. What else did I try? Oh, Dexilant. Dexilant was my next step. That's a really big GERD medication that I took for about a year. And then United's like, nah, we're taking this off our list. You don't need that. Try omeprazole. And I'm like, dude, if omeprazole would have worked, I wouldn't have went to Dexilant. So they basically said no. So I was kind of now back on the Prilosec route twice a day. And then I went to my and I've been working with a gastroenterologist for years before this. Because the reflux was just too much. I had other lower GI issues. So he finally said, hey, this medicine just got released in the United States for GERD. It works really well. It's been in Europe for a really long time, but they finally just approved it for the United States. It's called Voquenza. So I'm like, yeah, sign me up. So the doctor tried. Insurance is like, yeah, omeprazole. I'm like, fuck you. If omeprazole would have worked 10 years ago, I would not be having this conversation with you. So they refused to cover it. So I had to pay out of pocket. So here I am. And I still get breakthrough reflux like all the time. Like I have to keep Pepcid completes next to my bed because there are nights when I wake up gagging with reflux and I end up like coughing because I'm aspirating into my lungs. You don't want stomach acid in your lungs. Not a good thing. So I had breakthrough still, no matter what I ate, no matter what I drank. And I was just tired. I was tired of it. I'm like, there has to be another way. So I was speaking now. My current neurologist is associated with the University of Miami because my original neurologist had retired. So she said, why don't you try one of because I had said, is this related to MS in any way? Maybe it is. She's like, I don't know. I've never heard of it, but why don't you talk to one of our gastroenterologists that are affiliated with the hospital? I said, great, sign me up. So I called up, I made an appointment, 6 months. Okay. All right. 6 months, whatever. So I waited my 6 months. 6 months came. I had a business trip that day because I had to actually go to downtown Miami to have this appointment where my neurologist has an office here in Boca. So I was like, I have to move this. So finally, this is about a year, right? So finally I had my appointment in November and we were talking and he's like, well, yeah, you could stay on these drugs forever. He said, but the only thing that would cure you? And I'm like, what? Getting a revision to the gastric bypass. What? They do that? But I don't need to lose 100 pounds. He's like, it doesn't matter. It's a complication from the gastric sleeve. You should look into it. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to look into it. So he set me up with the bariatric surgeon that's affiliated with the University of Miami. So I had a visit with him, and we talked about it. And he's like, yeah, I do this all the time, yada, yada, yada. But I should have said prior to this, I went to my original surgeon and tried to have this discussion. He's like, yep, you need a revision. It's a complication, but your insurance is never going to cover it. So just pay me cash And then when it's time for the surgery, just go to the ER and tell them you're sick and I'll admit you to the hospital. I'm not doing that. First of all, pissed me off. So I pay to United Healthcare every paycheck. It goes up 10% each year. They cover less and less. That's another problem or another issue. And like, no, I'm not paying $10,000 to fix a mistake that you made. But you can't say that. It just happens. So so then I did. I had my appointment with the bariatric surgeon in Miami who said he does this all the time. He can get me approved for insurance. Okay. So this was about December. So December, and then, working with them back and forth, we decided to put me on the calendar for January 25th. So, again, it's a push and pull with United Healthcare. They set me up with a bariatric specialist for insurance. I'm like, oh yeah, that's helpful. And, we discussed all the things, and it's like she's reading from a script about diet and exercise. I'm like, I know. I said, I know I can lose weight, and that's really good. I can lose weight. And, but it's not my main goal. My main goal is to not have GERD all the time. Oh yeah. And getting, esophageal cancer. So at this point, I've had esophagitis now 2 times. I'm sorry. So, both times, I also ended up having a colonoscopy with it too, with the endoscopies. And the doctor's like, no big problems, no worries. But then when you read the report, you have LA grade B esophagus. So LA grade is some kind of a grading scale for lesions in your esophagus or strictures. I'm not sure what they're called. But they go in A, B, C, D. A is abnormal still. That means you have some strictures. I'm not going to say this right. B is like, okay, that's getting bad. C is really bad. And D is like, uh-oh, you better do something before you get Barrett's esophagus. Barrett's esophagus is precancer, and having esophageal cancer is like the worst cancer you can have besides like lung cancer. It's in pancreatic. It kills you. You kind of need your esophagus. So I'm here sitting at a B. I'm like, okay, no worries, I'm fine. But then, going through this whole process, I finally realized that I don't have to put up with this. I wish my first gastroenterologist would have known this or suggested this to me. The problem was he wasn't in tune with the whole bariatric surgery thing, which I think a gastroenterologist really should be, but that's okay. So I'm talking with insurance, the mandated person at the bariatric group that I have to talk to. And we were talking through this. I'm trying to convince her why I'm not trying to do this for weight loss. And she finally let it slip that, oh, well, you need an LA grade C esophagus. I'm like, you really want me to get worse before I can get better? That's what you want? And so something else I found out, when the doctors score you on this grade, it's their opinion, it's what they see, they use their discretion. I probably had a C or worse all along, because I am telling you, I had a lot of pain. So anyways, we scheduled my surgery for January 25th. Surprise, they don't approve me. Nope, you're not sick enough yet. So he did an endoscopy instead on the 25th. And this first video that you're going to see is going to talk about that. So he was able to see what he needed to see, which is an LA grade C, which again, I didn't doubt. He actually gave me some awesome medicine that actually, took away the pain. Ha ha! You imagine that. But anyways, guys, I will let you watch the videos. Just spoiler alert. Obviously, this is now Saturday, 5 days after surgery. So I'm alive. I'm in still pain, but I'll survive. So here's my story. And at the end, I'll give you a little bit about what's going to happen next. Okay, so today is January 28th, 2025, and here's my update. So yesterday I went to a prominent university teaching hospital, and my bariatric surgeon, or my hopeful bariatric surgeon, did an upper endoscopy to see what's going on in my esophagus, to see if it's gotten worse, it's gotten better, what grade is it. So it was weird having it in a hospital operating room environment because it is very different than an outpatient center, meaning that, I don't know, I feel like they're more thorough, they're more geared to comfort. The bed was heated, it was nice. The gown was heated, it was nice. I just felt very, I said to my mom, they feel like they rolled out the red carpet. I don't know if I'm getting the right words, but anyway, so it was nice being in the hospital environment. And I guess he decided to use general anesthesia for me. Part of me thinks, and I don't know because I can just listen to what they're saying and sort of hear, when you have reflux really bad, I guess they want to, I don't know. She said if she can't put me all the way down, then she doesn't want to use, this is the anesthesiologist talking. She wants to use general if I can't lay all the way down, which I can't. So I got general anesthesia. I got the endoscopy. Every time I did it with my former gastroenterologist, he sat me down, or not sat me down, he gave me the report and said, "Oh, you're fine." And that's when, if you read the report, it's like LA grade B esophagus, but no other problems. Well, and then I've never gotten put on any other medication. So I don't know why, because they didn't tell me, but I started taking sucralfate, sucralfate, which is some sort of medicine for ulcers. So I don't know if that means I have an ulcer in my stomach. I don't know if that means I have an ulcer in my esophagus. I don't know if this was just precautionary. I have no idea why he gave me this medicine, but I will tell you, it's made me feel a little bit better. I had no reflux last night, so yeah, I'll take what I could get. I still do have a sore throat from yesterday, though, so that's a little weird. But I imagine the reason why he didn't tell me any results is because he did a lot of biopsies. That's what they told me. So we'll see, but that's where we're at today. I will say my MS, I'm going to blame my MS. My MS has been kicking my ass, right? I've been exhausted. Then I had my regular physical with my physician, and I looked a little like the beginnings of B12 deficiency. So now I'm going to start with B12 pills again. I have some shots left. I had purchased a series of shots at that any lab test now. It's like a generic lab where you can get any test you want as long as you pay for it. So I still do have some shots left. So that's where things are now, and I will let you know when I get an update. Take care. Well, hello, beautiful people, and good morning. Welcome to day 2 of my liquid diet for the surgery that I'm not even sure I'm approved for yet, but I probably will be. So I didn't vlog yesterday. I spent a lot of time ordering protein from Undri. So, mixed in with my whole, regular job and stuff and other duties of the house. But so I'm setting myself up for some protein sources after the surgery. There is a time where you have to do only clear liquids, so I went ahead and got the clear liquid soups that have protein. They're like protein shakes, but in soup form. So we'll see how I like that. You know, I had 4 yesterday. I have this one in the morning. This is Atkins Mocha Latte, 170 calories, 15 grams of protein, which isn't really that great. But I'm also using the protein power from Ambrosia Collective, and I think that that's my favorite one so far. I'll have to get the container, but I believe it has like 23 grams of protein and 120 calories, and it's good. So I've been enjoying that one. But other than that, I mean, I'm mostly sticking to pre-made shakes. Some of them I make myself, but yeah, yesterday was pretty brutal. It's hard. Being on a liquid diet sucks. But I'm encouraged because, I read Reddit and all that, and people with my kind of reflux issues feel immediate relief after the surgery, and the surgery for them seemed to be easier than the first time around. I don't know. I can only hope. But anyways, that's day 2. Hope to catch you on the next day. Bye. Hello, beautiful people. All right, so here's the update. Today is Sunday, February 16th. As you know, I've been on a liquid diet since Monday, except for stopped it last night, and I will tell you why. So I was on the liquid diet, and it was actually kicking my ass, guys. It was making me super weak. I could barely move yesterday. I was just spent. So I did get insurance approval. Let me tell you the story about that really quick. So, it had been about 2 weeks since they put the reauthorization in. So I had gotten the testing, the other endoscopy. He found the LA grade C esophagus, which I knew I had. I'm suffering, guys. So finally, my bariatric coordinator called me Friday morning at about 10 a.m. saying, listen, you're scheduled for Monday, and if we don't get an authorization by 2 o'clock, we have to cancel. Can you try calling your insurance? So sure enough, I did. And they're very nice at United Healthcare. Very, very nice. So, there's nothing that they could do. They might look at it today. They're gonna look at it today or tomorrow. Dude, we did what you wanted us to do. Approve it. So 1 o'clock, 1:15 to be more specific, I get a call from the bariatric surgeon's coordinator. Guess what? You were approved. Yay! Because that was Valentine's Day. And let me tell you, if I didn't get approved, I was going to eat that night. So didn't eat. Good girl. Next day. So I'm prepping for surgery, which was supposed to be tomorrow, right? Getting everything ready, starting to get my bag packed, which I was going to make a video on that. Went to the grocery store to pick up my prescriptions, and on my way back, I get a phone call from the bariatric surgeon's office, not my coordinator, who said, I hate to tell you this, but we're going to have to cancel on Monday because your doctor got admitted to the hospital. So I'm like, oh my God, is he okay? I hope everything's okay. Hello? It's funny because you never really think about what happens if something happens to your surgeon. It's so funny. In my life lately, I'm having all these problems I've never anticipated. So it's just weird. It's not the end of the world, I know. I still have insurance approval, and unfortunately, they couldn't rebook me until March 24th because I am scheduled. They wanted to try to do it March 10th, but I'm scheduled to go on a business trip for a week on March 10th. So they scheduled it for March 24th because the week of March, I guess 17th, he's supposed to be on a conference. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow call my coordinator at the bariatric surgeon's office and say, listen, is there another doctor? Because I would love it. Love it, love it, love it if I could get in this week. I'll go back on the liquid diet. I didn't really eat that much. We went out to dinner last night. So, yeah. So that's it. The other thing, when the lady who called me obviously knew nothing about my case, which is understandable. So I was saying, well, that's fine. I'm going to go eat tonight. And she's like, well, don't start gaining weight, and she's telling me that I have to, don't gain weight, don't lose my momentum. I'm like, I'm not doing this for weight loss. So, but it's okay. It's fine. Well, she'd say whatever the fuck she wants. I don't care. So she's like, oh yeah, you need to start your liquid diet again 2 weeks before March 10th. No, you just start 5 days before. So, yeah, that's about it. If, and I made a reservation for a hotel that's right next to the hospital. which it was non-refundable because I made it I made the reservation right after I found out my surgery was a go. So that's $200 that I lost, but what are you going to do? I can't get upset over it, but yeah, so that's my update, and I will keep you up to date on the next steps because yeah, I'm still, approved. I'm still suffering, but here we are. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Well, hello, beautiful people. It's Mama Goob. Today is Sunday, March 23rd, and this will be my last sit-down video before my surgery. I'm scheduled for tomorrow at 11 a.m., although my surgery won't happen till 2. I have to be there at 11 a.m. So that is a long time to not have water. Forget food. My last solid meal for probably the next month was last night, where I had a salad. Sure, you are allowed to eat one small meal, and you're supposed to have 3 protein shakes. I used to just skip the meal, but used to have 4 protein shakes. But I really liked the salads. It was nice to choose something. So, but today I can only have 4 liquid meals and try to drink as much liquid as possible. So today I'm living it up, and I'm enjoying the last time with the straw for a while, and I'm enjoying my last Pepsi Zero for a really long time, as you can't drink soda for like a year. After, gastric sleeve, I couldn't drink soda for a year, and even still now, I should probably open this and let it get a little flat. But nevertheless, scared going in. I'm excited to have no more acid reflux. We hope that that will be the outcome. To make myself a little bit more secure last night, I started watching videos of doctors talking about the revision to gastric bypass for reasons of having GERD. So oddly enough, Dr. Proctor from the Slayton, I think the Slaytons, or at least Amy Slayton, had her surgery performed by Dr. Proctor, but he had a video about it, and it basically that's the go-to fix for people who've had GERD after a gastric sleeve. Apparently, there is some mechanic in your system that, mainly because perhaps the sleeve was a little too small, where the food can't empty quick enough from your stomach before it starts pushing back through to your esophagus. Now, for the last 10 years, I didn't know that this was the problem. I thought I had too much stomach acid. I don't have too much stomach acid. I probably have a normal amount of stomach acid. It's not a stomach acid problem. It's a problem of restriction in my stomach that's pushing things back up, which is a little disheartening because I've been on acid reducers for 10 years now, which can wreak its own havoc. So I kind of wish somebody would said this to me, 5 years ago, when they saw that my reflux wasn't going away, instead of just prescribing me more medication. Part of it is my fault. I didn't Google it. I just figured, I'm going to listen to the doctors. Yeah. So anyways, this is it. I have very little energy right now because, of course, I have been on this liquid diet since Monday. The last 3 days, though, I had been having the one meal. The first day I had a, Healthy Choice steamers. And it was a steamer of raviolis and like a vegetable marinara sauce. It was really good. And the lucky thing about preparing this for this, 3 shakes, 1 meal a day, is because since I've already had the gastric sleeve, I fill very easily. So it has actually worked to my benefit. And besides me just feeling uber weak, being on this liquid diet really wasn't that bad past day 3. I think day 3, I did a reaction. A lot of you who are watching my channel may have seen this, or my reaction channel, because I plan to put this on my Mama Goob's Journey channel. How angry I was. And I had some mints on the cutting board that's in front of me saying, I'm going to eat these mints if this girl doesn't stop doing what she's doing. That passed. Okay. Plus, I'm better in the morning. So, be that what it may. So I just wanted to check in real quick. I will video when I'm all prepped for surgery. And today, once I actually start packing my bag, I'm going to make a video about what's in my bag. And then hopefully I'll have a video of what I used and what I didn't use. But for now, see you guys on the other side. Bye. All right, guys, so you saw my vlogs. Obviously, this is after surgery. I filmed the intro and the outro on the same day. I did get the surgery. I have to be honest with you, it was a lot of pain. That's the bad news. But the good news is it's shocking on how much easier it is to drink things like water. So in my first surgery, I would literally go a day without eating or drinking anything. And that's bad. Don't ever do that. So bad for you. But I made it through. But so I could drink now. I could get through a whole protein shake. Okay, I couldn't before. When I had sleeve, it was terrible, and I would get sick all the time and throw up. And I can still take pills now because I could drink enough water to get them down. So it's a completely different world. And yes, I feel better immediately. I wish I didn't have so much pain, but it is what it is. It's abdominal surgery. What do you expect? So the only other thing that's happening to me, which is not making me happy, is I've gained 10 pounds since surgery. People are like, what are you drinking, milkshakes? No, I'm drinking regular liquids. I'm probably at maybe 400 calories a day, maybe 500, maybe. Since I started full liquids, because the first 4 days, all you drink is water, Jello, those sugar-free ice pops, some tea. So since I've had full liquids, now you could drink, milk-based things like, protein shakes, different things like that. So what the problem is I haven't been able to go to the bathroom. So that is my next mission, and I will be taking vlogs when I can, just to let you guys know what's up, what's going on with me, see if I, lose any weight, because I kind of at least want to get back to goal. Hello. But I'm sure that things will get better and better from here, and I've vowed never, ever, ever to have abdominal surgery again. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope to catch you on my next video. Bye.